Hi y'all, I'm going to continue reading from my book, The 1900s. Okay? A change for the better. Gradually the miseries and trials of adjustment were left behind. For those who had inhabited the hungry villages of Eastern Europe, the hovels of Berdichev, I think that's how you say, and the Krelios of Vilna and Kovno. Sorry for pronouncing those cities wrong. Because I never heard of these cities, so correct me if I'm wrong, okay? The factories and sweatshops of New York provided a livelihood and possible stepping stone. Despite unsteady and underpaid employment, tenement overcrowding, and fails, immigrants felt themselves inactively being transformed. The Lower East Side, with its purposeful vitality, found no analog in the laborious looking ghetto familiar in Europe, commented a visiting Abbe Felix Klein. I think that's how you say that name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Physical surroundings, however sordid, could be transcended. Optimism and hope engulfed every aspect of immigrant life. For people who had risen superior to the oppressions of medieval proscriptions, the New York slums acted as a newfound challenge. Each passing year brought improvements that could be measured and appraised. Cramped quarters did not constrict aspiration. In large proportion of the tenements of the East Side, pianos are to be seen in the dingy rooms, and soon the phonograph was everywhere. Except among the recent arrivals, most of the Jewish tenement dwellers have fair and even good furniture in their homes. The East Europeans began to venture beyond the boundaries of the Lower East Side into other areas where employment was available on terms compatible with religious habitats. Brooklyn's German Williamsburg district, directly across the East River where Central European Jews had been established for some decades, was settled early. In the late 1880s, a few clothing contractors set up sweatshops in the languid Scottish settlement of Brownsville, south and east of Williamsburg. The Depression delayed further expansion for a decade despite the extension of Fond Street L in 1889. Then the tide could not be stemmed. Between 1899 and 1904, Brownsville's population rose from 10,000 to 60,000. Land values soared as immigrants came at the rate of 1,000 per week. Lots selling for $200 in 1899 brought $5,000 to $10,000 5 years later. As the real estate boom revolutionized land values, many a former tailor was suddenly transformed into a substantial landlord or realtor who disdained all contact with shears and needles of bitter memory. The mass dispersion of Jews from the Lower East Side to other parts of the city was in full swing in the early 1890s, as the more prosperous pioneers hastened to settle among the German religionists in Yorkville between 72nd and 100th Streets, east of Lexington Avenue. For many a rising immigrant family in this period to switch trains, it was judged to be a 10-year trek from Hester Street to Lexington Avenue. The unprecedented flow of immigrants into the old Central Quarter, exorbitant rents, and the demolition of old tenements incidental to the building of parks, schools, and bridge approaches drastically reduced the area's absorptive capacity and spurred the search for new quarters. The construction of the Delancey Street, I think that's how you say it, approach to the Williamsburg Bridge in 1903 displaced 10,000 persons alone. The consolidation of the city and the growth and extension of rapid transit facilities connected what were once remote districts with the central downtown business quarters. In the new developments, cheaper land made possible lower rents that compensated for the time and expense of commuting. On Manhattan Island, the construction of underground transit opened a mass settlement, the Dyckman Tract in Washington Heights, and the Harlem Flats. The new subway also opened the East Bronx to extensive housing development. In Brooklyn, in addition to the heavy concentration in Brownsville, Williamsburg, and South Brooklyn, Borough Park with tropical gardens and parks became increasingly accessible. Even distant Coney Island was brought into range by improved transit facilities. I don't know why that was almost so hard for me to say. With okay, this number is hard for me to say, so please tell me how to say it by typing out the words of it. 542,061. I think that's 5,400. No, 5,042,061 inhabitants. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. In 1910, the Lower East Side reached peak congestion. Thereafter, a decline set in. By 1916, only 23% of the city's Jews lived in the once primary area of Jewish settlement, compared to 50% in 1903 and 75% in 1892. By the close of the first decade of the 20th century, the Lower East Side had lost much of its picturesqueness in tone and color. The ghetto was perceptibly merging with the surrounding city. East European Jews had scattered to many sections of the city and were swiftly becoming an integral, if not as yet fully accepted element in the life of the community. Please rate, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're on TikTok, please follow me. I don't need any more likes right now. I just need more follows and more views, okay? That's it. I already got enough likes. Anyways, and I'm selling stuff on eBay and Mercari, so if you want to see what I'm selling, just comment down below and ask for my username, okay? And I'll tell you, okay? Please, I need to sell those stuff, okay? Bye.